Welcome to my TS350 rebuild video. Today we're going to be installing the crank bearings. I've got the case split into two halves. This is one half, and we're going to be removing the old bearings and putting in the new bearings. Now I've marked the coil here. There's a little dot there. I'm not sure if the timing marks may be a bit corroded or the present. The objective is to try and put it back in exactly the same place, because I presume it was set up at the factory. So I'll whip these two T27 Torx screws out and remove the coil so we can get to the bearing. I do actually have some other videos of me getting to this stage, in case you've just seen this video first. Remove this cable. I think I can actually leave it. I think last time I did one I worked around the coil. Yeah, I think I just held it out the way, saved deconstructing too much. Or maybe I removed it, can't remember. There's a grommet there to be removed. I remember I did something, as for what, I'm not exactly sure. Little connector there, can unhook that. I wonder if I disconnected it there. Could really do with it out of the way. Oh, I'll give the wire here a good push, and everything's come out grommet as well, so that's great. We can now proceed to removing things, hopefully. I can get it out of the way sufficiently there for the moment. So you can see I'm working on a towel. The idea of that is just to cushion the blow of anything I use, protect the aluminium casing from any marking. Still not sure I'm in the right position, but yeah, the coil's safe, it's not going to get any impact. So I've got quite a large chisel. What we need to do is remove this grease, this bearing end cap here. Working through the centre of the bearing, I'll deliver some blows. Try and liberate it. There we go, we've removed it there. You can see in here there is a circlip, but we should be okay just to push the bearing out this way using big chisel. Doesn't matter if I hit the centre of the bearing with it being an old one, so we'll try that now, see how we get on. That's now been liberated. With these bearings there is a number stamped into them, 6202 I believe. So you can save a bit of money with new bearings if you cross-reference that that number. Don't know if you can hear it, but it is rattling, and here's its friend from the other side. So you can use that number, get an open bearing, and you might trim a couple of quid off your rebuild costs. Right. So let's press the new bearing in. What I'm going to do first is give it a good clean. I'll just use a bit of this towel here. Working on a towel's quite good. Protects your aluminium from any dings that it may pick up along this course. So I've got that perfectly. The way I removed the bearing, I didn't damage this surface here, so all I need to do is just keep it smooth. If there's any muck on it, I've got some really fine 140 wet and dry here. You can just give it a clean up with that. Just roll it into a ball. Get round and give it a clean up. Just to ensure there's nothing in the way of the new bearing. Now I do have a little trick for inserting these bearings. The trick is to put the bearings in the freezer so that it effectively makes them contract. Just get some oil. Surface preparation is good, you only really get one shot at this. I'll just put a film of oil around this area. Probably overdo it, but that's fine. Just get a good smearing. And then I'll go get the new bearing. So here we have one bearing fresh from the freezer. I don't really know which side the writing's on. Oh, it's that side, it doesn't matter. I'll put that in there. This is the crude way of doing this. Obviously we've got to work fast. We've got a large socket. I can hit the outer edge of the bearing with the hammer. Just work my way around the socket. Taking a bit more force than force though. Problem is I'm not able to hit it as square as I'd like. It's going in though. Keep working your way around the socket. Now I've done that right, that should be all the way up to the circlip. There's no noticeable gap there, I'm quite happy with that. Now on the other side there is in fact a seal to put on. I'm going to put some grease in this bearing because it is running dry. Well, that's something we don't want. So I'll get the grease and put some in. I've got the grease. It's just normal lithium EP2 grease which I'm using. Get some on my finger. Press it into the bearing. This is the only opportunity I'm going to get to access this side, so I'm going to do a thorough job. I'm not going to cut any corners with it. Let's press as much in as possible this way. I'll probably push it through, but I can grease the other side, no problem. Obviously, if you lose the plot, you know, does the bearing go here, this side, does the seal go this side? You have to remember this is the outside of the machine, so the bearing's going more inside. The flywheel goes on here. I've had a few of them moments. Also, if you look at your work, you will realise that there isn't sufficient room at the other side of the circlip, which I have left in for the purposes of this rebuild. all I really want is as much greasing as possible to give the bearings the best chance of survival. The seal's only there to protect it from spilling out onto the coil and bits and bats. See, I've got a few drops of oil. I'm going to do the other side now, so it is done. And I can't forget at any stage. So the bearing was a bit stiff, but that's probably because I had it in the freezer. Just fill it out. Now the next bit does concern me a bit more, because I seem to remember I marginally bent one of these seals last time I did it. Now, I can't let that put us off. They don't require as much force as the bearings to squish in. I'll just go get the seal. So we've got the seal here. I'm going to work quick because this just came out of the freezer. And hopefully I can put this in without making a mess of it. Fingers crossed. Not quite going perfectly square. I have to hit round in a circular manner. I think we've driven that one home, and that's how to put a bearing in a seal in one of these saws without a press. I do have a push-pull bush kit. I'm going to show you that for the next bearing. This is the other side for reference. I've used the same technique to put the bearing in. You need quite a large socket, 24mm in this case. I've done the seal exactly the same method. I had to go using my push-pull bush kit, and it was a fail. The cups were too large, so we'll go back to the original one. You see the fuel filter there. What I'm going to do while it's on my mind is have a clean up and put the fuel filter, clean the fuel filter and put it back in and give everything a good clean, ready for reassembly in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.